Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome all to today's session. Thank you all for your yesterday's responses. And our question was, which is the most polluted city in the world for the year 2018? And it is our own Gurugram. And now in 2019, Gurugram has passed the baton to the nearest Ghaziabad. So we will move to today's session. First question. In the context of Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2020, who among the following can be a surrogate mother? Option A, any willing person. Option B, a close relative of couple. And option C, from the list of willing people found by local bodies. And option D, the bill bans surrogacy in India. So the correct answer here is option A, any willing person can be a surrogate mother. Guys, let me give some background information about surrogacy in India. What is surrogacy actually? See, when a couple wants a baby but is unable to have a child because either or both partners are medically unfit to conceive, then this couple approaches another woman to bear a child for them. And this is done by artificial insemination. So, this is basically an agreement where a woman who is ready to become a surrogate offers to carry a baby through pregnancy on behalf of a couple and then return the baby to the intended parents, that is this couple, once it is born. So that is surrogacy. Surrogacy in India and Indian surrogates became increasingly popular among the intended parents in the industrialized nations. And the reason behind that is of relatively low cost here and easy access offered by Indian surrogacy agencies, etc. Before commercial surrogacy was banned in 2015, India was a popular destination for surrogacy. A study backed by United Nations in July 2012 estimated that a business at more than $400 million a year with over 3,000 fertility clinics across India is happening related to surrogacy. So hope you got the magnitude of this industry. And to regulate this altogether, government introduced surrogacy bill in 2019. And now let's first look into provisions of 2019 bill. The 2019 bill prohibited commercial surrogacy but allowed altruistic surrogacy. Guys, know the difference between commercial surrogacy and altruistic surrogacy. Commercial surrogacy is that there is a monetary compensation involved in it, as in you are paying money to one to become a surrogate mother. And altruistic surrogacy is that there is no monetary compensation to the surrogate mother other than the medical expenses and the insurance coverage during the pregnancy. So commercial surrogacy is legally banned by 2019 bill. And 2019 bill permitted surrogacy for intending couples who suffer from proven infertility. For that, they have to obtain a certificate of proven infertility of one or both members of intending couple from a district medical board. And there are certain eligibility conditions for this certificate, like the couple being Indian citizens and married for at least 5 years, and age limit was also prescribed, etc. And there was an insurance coverage for a period of 16 months covering postpartum delivery complications for the surrogate. And the bill laid down eligibility conditions for the surrogate mother also. She should be a close relative of the intending couple and a married woman having a child of her own and of age 25 to 35 years old. These are the major criteria. A few other conditions are also there. And the 2019 bill proposed other features like registration of surrogacy clinics, national and state surrogacy boards to advise government on the matter of surrogacy, and to lay down code of conduct for surrogacy clinics, and lay down penalties for non-compliance also. So that were the major provisions of 2019 bill. But there are many issues with the 2019 bill. One of the major controversy was that the bill left out a lot of people who might want to have a baby through surrogacy, including unmarried couples, homosexual couples, and single men and women. So these people are left out. So the government reconsidered the bill and now come up with Surrogacy Bill 2020. And the major amendments in the 2020 bill are, it allows any willing woman to become a surrogate mother. Previously, it was only a close relative of the couple. Now, any willing woman can become a surrogate mother. And it proposes that widows and divorced women can also benefit from its provisions, besides infertile Indian couples. So now the scope is widened. The proposed insurance cover for surrogate mother has now been increased to 36 months from 16 months provided in the earlier versions. So that are the major amendments in the 2020 bill. And guys, you may please study this bill in detail. It is a hot topic for prelims as well as mains. Now we will move to our second question. Which among the following is our technical textiles? 1. Bulletproof vest. 2. Medical textiles. 3. Agro textiles for crop protection. And 4. Space suits. And 5. Molten metal protection for welders. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Option A 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. Option B 1 and 4 only. Option C 2, 3 and 5 only. Option D 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the correct answer here is option D 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. All of the above are technical textiles. Technical textiles is a high technology sunrise sector which is steadily gaining ground in India, and technical textiles are functional fabrics that have applications across various industries including automobiles, civil engineering and construction, etc. For example, textiles for automotive applications, medical textiles, geotextiles, textiles for crop protection, protective clothing like heat and radiation protection for firefighter clothing, molten metal protection for welders, stab protection, bulletproof vest, space suits, all are included in technical textiles. So recently, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved the setting up of a national textile mission. So it aims to position the country as a global leader in the technical textiles and increase the use of technical textiles in the domestic market. Actually, I always wondered, many laborers, for example, in the construction sector, are working in our country without any safety measure. They are painting or building multi-story buildings, just hanging in a rope. You might have seen. So without using any proper belts or safety measure, they are doing this. So it is very dangerous. So these things has to be changed. Hope the National Technical Mission will be a lead on this. And so friends, our quiz question is based on this topic only. As we are fighting the COVID pandemic, now the PPE kits, that is a personal protection equipment kit, is always in news. And our Prime Minister also stated that around 2 lakh PPE kits are manufactured in India daily. And our question is, nearly 50% of PPE kits manufactured in India comes from one place. So which is that place or city? Please post your answers in the comment section, guys. We will now move to the last question. Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation BEFR, often seen in the news, is related with option A, partition of Bengal, option B, the inner line permit system, option C, enclave exchange between India and Bangladesh, and option D, Maoist defending initiative. So the correct answer here is option B, the inner line permit system. Let's now look into the historical background of inner line permit system. The historical roots of inner line permit system lie in the Anglo-Burmese War of early 19th century, which exposed British ignorance of a strategic area. Then after that, the British influence gradually spread beyond Assam and Manipur to other hill states. So this concept comes from colonial era. Under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act of 1873, through which the British framed regulations restricting the entry and regulating the stay of outsiders in designated areas. And the explanation given by British for this was to protect tribal interest. They enacted this regulation. But ultimately, this was to protect the Crown's own commercial interest by preventing British subjects, that is Indians, from trading within these regions. So in 1950, the Indian government replaced these British subjects with citizens of India. This was to address local concerns about protecting the interest of the indigenous people from outsiders belonging to other Indian states. So that is the developments of inner line permit system. And under the system, if we are the non-natives of specified areas under this law, we need to obtain a permit issued by the state government concerned to even visit that area. So recently it was in news related to Citizenship Amendment Act, which exempts ILP area from its ambit. So that is it. That's all for today, guys. Please post your answers and scores in the comment section. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you for watching.